The Power of Deep Work, Unlocking Focus and Productivity, read and published by Mr. Books. In today's world, attention is our scarcest asset. Technology promises to make us more productive, yet it often leaves us fragmented, pulling our minds in countless directions. Meetings, emails, and notifications constantly vie for our focus, making it increasingly difficult to settle into meaningful work. Against this backdrop, the ability to concentrate deeply, free from interruption, has emerged as a true superpower. The Power of Deep Work, Unlocking Focus and Productivity, seeks to illuminate this pathway, guiding you through the transformative practice of cultivating sustained focus. This book is not about doing more in less time through hacks or shortcuts. Instead, it's about fundamentally changing how you relate to your work, your thoughts, and your environment. You'll discover that deep work is not a fleeting trend, but rather an enduring philosophy that, when embraced, alters the way you approach learning, achievement, and even personal fulfillment. Across 8 carefully woven sections, we delve into the anatomy of deep work, what it is, why it matters, and how to harness it for creativity, clarity, and results that have tangible impact. You'll learn how boredom, often seen as an obstacle, can become a springboard for creativity. You'll uncover techniques for mastering new skills rapidly and understand how focus acts as a catalyst for significant achievement. But deep work is not just about personal success. It is about reclaiming a sense of control in a world of noise. By measuring progress and learning to track what truly counts, you align your actions with your values. Deep work, as you'll see, is a lifestyle, a commitment to living intentionally, maximizing your intellectual capacity, and bringing your fullest self to every endeavor. Within these pages, you'll also confront the realities of distraction and digital overload. We offer strategies for building resilience in the face of constant interruptions and advice for sustaining deep work across weeks, months, and years. The journey is both practical and philosophical, inviting you to not only change your habits, but to reshape your understanding of what it means to live a productive, purposeful life. Whether you are a student, professional, artist, or entrepreneur, this book serves as your roadmap. Deep work is accessible to anyone willing to invest the effort, and the rewards are boundless. Prepare to unlock the true power of focus and productivity, transforming not just your output, but your life. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to support the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an audiobook that could change your life. Now let's begin. Enjoy. Chapter 1. The Age of Distraction. Why Focus is the New Superpower. The 21st century has ushered in a digital revolution, markedly increasing our access to information and our capacity to connect with the world. While these advances are miraculous in many respects, they have also created an unprecedented era of distraction. Today, the average person is bombarded by notifications, emails, messages, news updates, and social media feeds, all designed intentionally or inadvertently to fragment our attention. Our modern devices, though intended to streamline life, often serve as relentless attention thieves. The result is a society where sustained focus is increasingly rare. Studies highlight that the average adult's attention span has notably decreased over the last decade, now hovering at levels once associated with children. Multitasking, once considered the hallmark of productivity, has become the norm, with individuals toggling between tasks and devices on average every few minutes. This perpetual switching reduces our ability to concentrate deeply, erodes our cognitive endurance, and diminishes the quality of our output. Why is focus so valuable in this attention-scarce environment? Focus allows us to enter states of deep work, periods where our mind is fully engaged with a demanding task, enabling us to excel, innovate, and create at levels that shallow work cannot approach. In contrast, distraction-driven work keeps us moving but rarely progressing. It's the difference between running on a treadmill and climbing a mountain. Both require effort, but only one leads to transformative achievement. The business world has recognized this shift. Employers now seek candidates who possess more than just technical skills. They want people who can commit to deep work, manage their attention, and deliver real value. Creatives, entrepreneurs, and thinkers who have mastered the art of focus consistently produce higher quality results, solve complex problems, and achieve greater professional satisfaction. Yet, society seldom teaches us how to manage our attention. Instead, the prevailing culture rewards immediacy, quick replies, instant updates, and surface-level engagement. Many productivity tools promise better organization, but end up adding to the noise. To thrive in this new era, it is imperative to rethink our relationship with technology, information, and work. In subsequent chapters, we will examine the mechanisms of distraction, the profound benefits of focus, and offer actionable steps to cultivate attention as a skill. We will learn to identify sources of shallow work and create intentional boundaries that safeguard our time. By valuing and actively building our ability to concentrate, we unlock a superpower that distinguishes the extraordinary from the mediocre. Focus is not merely a byproduct of personality or willpower. It is a trainable asset, essential for navigating complexity and creating lasting impact. In the age of distraction, those who master their attention will command the future. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards are profound: increased productivity, personal fulfillment, and the clarity to pursue what truly matters. Chapter 2: Understanding deep work versus shallow work. A productive workday is often mistaken for a busy one. However, busyness does not equate to output, innovation, or mastery. The true differentiator is the kind of work one engages in. Deep work or shallow work. Deep work refers to professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. Such efforts create new value, improve your skills, and are hard to replicate. Examples of deep work include writing a complex report, programming a new software feature, solving advanced mathematical problems, or creating art. In contrast, shallow work consists of tasks that are easy to perform, often done while distracted, and do not create much new value in the world. These include responding to emails, attending low-value meetings, or browsing information without a clear purpose. It's easy to fall into the trap of shallow work, especially in environments where quick responses and multitasking are rewarded. Shallow work can make us feel productive due to its high volume and fast completion, but it rarely contributes to our long-term growth or organizational success. Deep work, though more demanding, provides compounding benefits: improved skills, greater creative output, and career advancement. The difference between deep and shallow work is not always obvious. A meeting could be deep work if it solves complex problems, but shallow if it rehashes what's already known. Checking emails can be essential, but it becomes shallow when done reactively throughout the day. The distinction lies in the level of focus required, the value generated, and the cognitive difficulty involved. Why do so many people default to shallow work? For one, it provides easy dopamine rewards, quick wins, and immediate feedback. Secondly, organizational cultures often mistakenly reward visibility over output. Those who appear busy are praised, regardless of the value they create. Finally, the digital environment fragments our days, pulling us into a cycle of reactive work. To harness the transformative power of deep work, it's crucial to learn how to recognize and prioritize it. Start by auditing your daily tasks, which require meaningful concentration and which could be delegated, scheduled less frequently, or eliminated altogether. Gradually increase the ratio of deep to shallow work. Structure your day to support focused blocks, minimize distractions, and set boundaries around shallow activities. Making deep work a habit takes discipline and intention. Consider batching shallow tasks into specific times, leaving the rest of your day open for uninterrupted focus. Communicate your commitment to deep work with colleagues so they respect your boundaries. Track your progress and reflect regularly, celebrating improvements not in busyness, but in the quality and impact of your work. In essence, deep work is not just another productivity tactic. It is the cornerstone of high achievement, creativity, and satisfaction. Shallow work has its place, but only in strict proportion. By consciously elevating deep work, you not only transform your own career, but also contribute more value to your organization and society as a whole. Chapter 3. The Science of Concentration and Flow. Scientific research into concentration and human performance has revealed remarkable truths about what allows us to perform at our best. Central to this understanding is the concept of flow, a psychological state where we are fully immersed and engaged in a task, losing track of time and self-consciousness. Flow, described by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, is not merely a feeling, but a powerful state of heightened concentration and creativity. During flow, the brain enters a rhythm. Distractions fall away, and cognitive resources are devoted exclusively to the challenge at hand. This state is more likely to occur when a task is optimally challenging, not too hard to be discouraging, nor too easy to be boring. Flow generates profound satisfaction, deep learning, and exceptional productivity. Neuroscience has further illuminated the mechanisms behind focus. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for executive functions, making decisions and directing attention. When you attempt to multitask or switch rapidly between tasks, you experience attention residue, a phenomenon in which fragments of your previous focus linger, impairing your ability to concentrate on new tasks. This residue diminishes productivity and raises stress levels. Conversely, deep work leverages the brain's natural inclination for sustained focus. When you eliminate distractions, your brain shifts into a more productive mode, utilizing dopamine reward circuits that reinforce concentrated effort. Over time, the ability to focus becomes stronger. The neuronal pathways responsible for distraction weaken, while those supporting sustained attention become more efficient. Research has shown that even brief interruptions can significantly reduce the quality of your work and increase the time it takes to complete complex tasks. The cumulative effect of frequent distractions is dramatic. It undermines learning, creativity, and emotional well-being. To harness concentration and enter flow states more consistently, it's essential to create challenging goals, remove obvious distractions, and structure work in extended blocks of time. Techniques such as mindfulness, regular breaks, and deliberate practice all play roles in building your focusing muscle. Physical health also supports mental performance. Adequate sleep, nutrition, and exercise are foundational. The science is clear. The ability to concentrate is not a fixed characteristic, but a trainable skill. By understanding how the brain works, you can design routines and environments that foster deep engagement, combat distraction, and unlock your cognitive potential. In the chapters that follow, you will discover actionable steps to strengthen concentration, create flow conditions, and experience the unparalleled rewards of sustained attention. The path to mastery begins with respecting the science and committing to the practice of deep work. Chapter 4. The Cost of Multitasking, Hidden Productivity Killers. Multitasking is often lauded as a modern necessity. With endless emails, messages, and tasks competing for our attention, many believe that juggling them simultaneously is the only way to keep up. However, science tells a different story. Multitasking is not efficient. It's a hidden productivity killer. When you multitask, you are not truly handling multiple complex activities at once. Instead, you are rapidly switching your attention between tasks. Each switch incurs cognitive costs, known as switch costs, which increase the likelihood of errors and slow down your progress. Even simple shifts, from composing an email to checking a text, leave attention residues that can linger for minutes, impairing your mental bandwidth. The myth of multitasking has been debunked in countless studies. People who routinely multitask perform worse on memory tasks, learn more slowly, and have decreased creativity. They are more prone to stress, feel less accomplished at the end of the day, and often mistake busyness for productivity. Why do we keep multitasking despite the evidence? Partly it's cultural. Many workplaces reward being always available, responding instantly, and filling every moment with activity. Technology reinforces this impulse, serving as both a productivity tool and a vector of interruption. Notifications, pop-ups, and alerts fragment our attention and pull us into cycles of reactive, shallow work. Multitasking also provides the illusion of progress. The rapid movement between tasks can trigger dopamine responses, offering quick gratification, but at the cost of sustained achievement. Over weeks and months, the accumulated drag of switch costs can mean hundreds of lost hours, reduced learning, and missed opportunities for excellence. To counteract these hidden killers, it is essential to reframe your approach to productivity. Prioritize the completion of high-value tasks through deep, focused sessions. Batch similar, shallow tasks together, such as responding to emails or administrative duties, and reserve extended blocks for undisturbed, deep work. Create boundaries in your environment. Silence notifications, set clear expectations with colleagues, and use productivity tools to protect, not fragment, your time. Practice single tasking by deliberately choosing one activity, devoting full attention to it, and only switching after completion. Recognize that true productivity is measured not by the number of tasks completed, but by the quality and impact of your work. Multitasking is seductive, but ultimately self-defeating. By embracing focused, sequential work patterns, you reclaim time, energy, and mental clarity, unlocking the real power of deep work. In the coming chapters, we'll explore how to train your brain for unbreakable focus, design distraction-free spaces, and build routines that anchor your commitment to high-quality output. The journey from multitasking to mastery begins with a simple shift, valuing depth over breadth in all you do. Chapter 5. Training your brain for unbreakable focus. Building unbreakable focus is the cornerstone of deep work. The brain, much like a muscle, strengthens through targeted exercise and conscious practice. While modern technology and culture pull us toward distraction, it is possible to retrain your mind to resist impulses and maintain attention on tasks that matter. Start with awareness. Many people are not consciously aware of how often their focus is fractured. Track your distractions for a week. Note every time you switch activities, reach for your phone, check emails, or let your attention drift. This audit creates a baseline and reveals hidden patterns that sap cognitive strength. The next step is establishing intention. Each morning, set clear goals for what you wish to accomplish in your deep work blocks. Define what success looks like for concentrated effort and hold yourself accountable. Visualization techniques. Imagine yourself working undistracted and completing your most important tasks can prime your brain for focus. Mindfulness practices are powerful tools for training attention. Meditation, even for a few minutes daily, conditions your mind to notice wandering thoughts and gently return to the present. Over weeks, these practices increase attention span, enhance emotional regulation, and reinforce your ability to resist distractions. Systematically eliminate sources of interruption. Choose a workspace designed for focus. Keep your phone out of reach when working deeply. Use website blockers for tempting distractions. Let colleagues know you'll be unavailable during immersion periods. Most will respect your boundaries if you communicate proactively. Building cognitive stamina is equally vital. Start with shorter periods of deep work, 20 or 30 minutes, and gradually increase duration as your focus strengthens. Take regular breaks to prevent fatigue. The Pomodoro technique, for example, alternates work and rest. Protect your evenings for rest and sleep. A well-rested brain is a focused brain. Practice deliberate attention in everyday life. When reading, avoid skimming. Read with intent and reflect on meaning. When in conversation, seek to listen fully rather than multitasking. These habits, cultivated outside work, reinforce your ability to engage deeply during working hours. Reward yourself for sustained concentration. Small incentives, such as a coffee break after an hour of focused work, signal to your brain that deep engagement brings satisfaction. Over time, you'll find that the intrinsic rewards of mastery and achievement overshadow any temporary pleasure of distraction. Finally, reflect regularly. At the end of each week, assess your focus. What worked, what didn't, and where can you improve? Share insights with accountability partners or mentors. Focus grows through intention, practice, and resilience. By training your brain for unbreakable focus, you rise above the average, escaping the tyranny of distraction. The skills developed in this process pay dividends across every area of life, unlocking creative potential, accelerating learning, and delivering exceptional results. Chapter 6. Designing a distraction-free environment. The journey toward deep work is supported or thwarted by your environment. While personal discipline is essential, the spaces in which you live and work play an underappreciated role in facilitating or undermining focus. Begin by assessing your primary workspace. Is it cluttered or tidy? Or distractions, phones, papers, irrelevant materials within easy reach? The brain is acutely sensitive to workspace signals. A clean, intentionally designed environment cues you for concentration, while clutter fosters wandering attention. Minimize auditory distractions. Open offices, ambient noise, and frequent interruptions can derail deep engagement. If possible, select a private or quiet area for focused work. Use noise-canceling headphones or play background music specifically chosen to aid concentration. Instrumental or ambient tracks are ideal. Visual distractions are equally significant. Remove unnecessary stimuli from your line of sight. Simple touches, organizing your desk, adding plants, or incorporating inspiring objects can create a sense of calm and promote sustained attention. Digital distractions are the most insidious. Set your devices to Do Not Disturb mode during deep work sessions. Use website blockers and productivity apps to minimize temptations. Clearly separate your workspace from recreational or social zones. When you sit down to work, your brain should know that focus is required. Lighting and ergonomics matter more than you might think. Natural light invigorates the mind and supports alertness. Ensure your seating and posture support comfort without encouraging slouching or fatigue. A well-designed chair, adjustable desk, and proper monitor positioning all contribute to sustained productivity. Communicate boundaries. Inform co-workers, family, and peers of your focus times, whether through visual cues like a closed door or digital tools that indicate availability status. Encourage respect for your blocks of deep engagement. Routine also supports environmental focus. Begin each session with a ritual, clearing your desk, reviewing your goals, or setting a timer. These actions signal to your brain that it's time for deep, undistracted work. Evaluate and iterate regularly. Is your current environment still serving you? Are there new distractions that have crept in? Stay flexible and willing to adapt as your needs change and your work evolves. By thoughtfully designing your physical and digital spaces, you minimize cognitive load and create conditions where deep work becomes natural. Your environment can inspire, support, and protect your focus, making excellence not an exception, but a daily reality. Chapter 7. The Power of Routines and Rituals for Deep Work. Routines and rituals are the secret architects behind lasting habits. Anyone who has achieved mastery, from artists to athletes to scientists, leverages them to ensure consistent entry into deep work states. Why are routines so powerful? The brain thrives on predictability. Repeated behaviors become automatic, reducing the mental effort required to begin demanding tasks. This automation liberates cognitive resources for the task itself, lowering resistance to starting and maintaining focus. Successful professionals often schedule deep work at the same time each day. This regularity conditions the brain to expect focus, making it easier to slip into concentrated states. Morning routines involving exercise, meditation, or reviewing priorities can prime the mind for productivity. Rituals go beyond scheduling. They include personal practices that signal to your mind that deep work is about to begin. Clearing your workspace, writing down your objectives, brewing a cup of coffee, or listening to a specific music playlist can all serve as ritualistic cues. Over time, these rituals trigger the psychological shift toward immersion. Consistency is key. Choose routines and rituals that align with your energy peaks. Some people work best early in the day, others in late afternoon. Respect these rhythms and schedule your deep work accordingly. Protect these blocks fiercely. Treat them as unbreakable meetings with your future self. Weekly planning is another powerful ritual. Map out your critical projects, allocate time for deep work, and evaluate past efforts. The simple act of reflection strengthens intention and improves your ability to adapt and optimize habits. Celebrate completion. At the end of focused work blocks, take a moment to acknowledge progress, mentally or physically. This habit builds intrinsic motivation. Work feels rewarding, not punishing. If a routine is interrupted, don't abandon it. Simply restart with intention. The strength of a habit lies not in perfection, but in persistence. Over weeks and months, routines become the backbone of deep work, reducing the friction that sabotages ambition. Ultimately, routines and rituals are enablers. They build momentum, reinforce commitment, and pave the way for breakthrough performance. By engineering your habits with intention, you make deep work a daily reality, unlocking levels of focus and productivity that transform goals into achievements. Chapter 8. Time Blocking, Mastering Your Schedule. Time once spent cannot be recovered. Mastering your schedule is essential for deep work, and time blocking is the tool that makes this mastery possible. Time blocking is the practice of scheduling specific blocks of time for particular tasks or types of work. Instead of reacting to incoming requests or letting your day be shaped by others, you proactively allocate periods for focused effort, shallow tasks, meetings, and rest. This method transforms your calendar from a record of appointments into a strategic blueprint for achievement. Begin by identifying your highest priority tasks, the ones most deserving of deep work. Allocate generous contiguous blocks for these activities. Reserve earlier or peak energy periods for the most demanding cognitive work. Fill lower energy windows with shallow tasks or routine duties. Batch similar activities. Group-related tasks, such as administrative work or communication, into specific blocks to minimize context switching and attention residue. Protect your deep work periods by communicating your schedule clearly to others. Commit to your blocks. Treat them as unbreakable appointments, not mere suggestions. If distractions arise, gently but firmly redirect yourself back to the task. As you practice, your ability to enter and remain in deep work will strengthen. Be realistic. Overscheduling leads to burnout and frustration. Allow buffers for breaks, transitions, and unexpected events. Build flexibility. If a block is missed, redistribute your tasks rather than abandoning deep work entirely. Review and reflect at the end of each week. Which blocks were most productive? Where did interruptions occur? Use these insights to refine your schedule and improve future performance. Time blocking is more than a productivity technique. It is a commitment to valuing your time and potential. It separates intention from chaos, allowing you to move purposefully through your day and maximize results. Through disciplined practice, you'll discover that your schedule is not a barrier, but a bridge to the focused, creative and high-impact work you aspire to achieve. Chapter 9. Single Tasking, the art of doing one thing well. In a culture that praises multitasking, where success often equates to handling numerous responsibilities simultaneously. The concept of single tasking is almost revolutionary. Yet science consistently shows us that the human brain thrives on doing one thing at a time. The paradox is clear. To accomplish more of what truly matters, we must learn to do less, but do it exceptionally well. Single tasking is the act of dedicating your full attention, cognitive and emotional, to one activity before moving to the next. It is not synonymous with slowness or inefficiency. Instead, it is a focused, deliberate effort to channel your energies into a single objective, yielding results that are higher in quality and depth. The cognitive cost of multitasking: every time you switch tasks, your brain incurs a switching cost. Studies by neuroscientists have shown that even brief mental blocks created by shifting between tasks can cost as much as 40% of someone's productive time. The reason lies in the brain's executive functions, primarily housed in the prefrontal cortex. When we multitask, these functions are taxed, resulting in superficial processing and an increased likelihood of errors. Moreover, multitasking rarely leads to mastery. Imagine a chef preparing multiple complex dishes simultaneously without the support of a skilled team. The likelihood of each dish reaching its full potential diminishes significantly. The same holds true for knowledge work, creative endeavors, and problem solving. The science of flow, described as the optimal state of consciousness where people feel and perform their best, is intimately tied to single tasking. When you immerse yourself fully in one task, your brain enters a state of heightened focus and creativity. Distractions fade and time seems to warp. Hours pass in moments. Achieving flow is nearly impossible when your attention is fractured. How to embrace single tasking? Transitioning to single tasking requires intentional changes. Prioritize ruthlessly. Pick one priority for each work period. Use tools like the Eisenhower Matrix or the Ivy Lee method to decide what matters most. Establish boundaries. Inform colleagues or family members of your deep work periods. This fosters an environment supportive of focus. Remove distractions, silence notifications, clear your workspace, and set up your physical and digital environment for sustained attention. Mindfulness practices. Techniques such as meditation and breathwork can train your mind to gently return to your task when distractions arise. Real-world examples. Some of the world's leading thinkers and creators, like novelist J.K. Rowling, theoretical physicist Albert Einstein, and composer Ludwig van Beethoven, credit single tasking for their breakthroughs. Rowling wrote substantial portions of Harry Potter in cafes, immersed for hours in storytelling. Einstein was known for his deep walks, contemplating single problems for days. The practice of reflection after single tasking sessions. Reflection is crucial. Ask, what did I accomplish? How did I feel? Was my attention uninterrupted? This feedback loop fosters self-awareness and hones your ability to focus with greater skill. Challenges and solutions. Single tasking is not without challenges. The lure of distraction, especially digital ones, is powerful. Begin with short periods of focused work, 20 minutes, and gradually increase as your stamina builds. Use the Pomodoro technique, working in focused sprints followed by short breaks. Chapter 10. Building mental stamina. How to work longer and smarter. Mental stamina is the bedrock of all high-performance endeavors. Without it, even the most ambitious plans stall, and goals drift into the realm of wishful thinking. In the context of deep work, building mental stamina means learning not only to work for extended periods, but to do so with precision and sustained energy. The physiology of focus, just as physical. Endurance demands cardiovascular strength and muscular resilience. Cognitive endurance depends on the brain's ability to maintain focus over time. The neurotransmitter dopamine plays a key role in attention and motivation. Initial bursts of mental energy are common at the start of tasks, but as time advances, fatigue and distraction become intrusive, Habits that foster mental stamina. Progressive work periods. Begin with manageable periods of focused work, say 25 minutes. Gradually extend these periods as your stamina improves. Strategic breaks. Incorporate restorative breaks. Techniques like the Pomodoro method, which involves taking 5-minute breaks after every 25-minute work sprint, help prevent cognitive burnout. Nutrition and hydration. Brain function relies heavily on energy and hydration. Regular balanced meals and adequate water intake sustain mental performance. Sleep hygiene. Chronic sleep deprivation erodes attention, memory, and problem solving. Prioritize sleep to recharge your mental faculties. Training the brain mental stamina, like physical endurance, can be developed through training. Engage in cognitively demanding activities, reading dense material, solving complex problems, writing challenging pieces. The more often you navigate deep work, the more resilient your brain becomes to fatigue. Dealing with resistance manifests as boredom, frustration, or the urge to quit. Recognize that feelings of discomfort during extended focus are natural. Reframe these moments as signs of progress. Your brain is stretching its limits, building routines. Consistency is the ally of stamina. Set regular hours for deep work, ideally when your energy peaks, often mornings for most people. Ritualize your environment. Perhaps a certain drink, a playlist, or a piece of clothing signals to your brain that it's time to focus. Mind-body connection physical exercise supports mental stamina. Movement increases blood flow to the brain and releases endorphins, alleviating stress and enhancing focus. Yoga, walking, or any regular physical activity can serve as a powerful complement to your intellectual efforts. Tracking progress. Keep a journal or log of your deep work periods. Note energy levels, duration, distractions, and outcomes. This record helps you identify patterns, shed ineffective habits, and celebrate progress. Handling setbacks. Not every session will be ideal. Accept imperfection as part of growth. If you feel depleted, rest. If distracted, practice mindfulness. Over time, mental stamina rises, not through heroic single sessions, but through consistent, patient practice. Chapter 11. Digital Minimalism. Reclaiming attention from technology. Our lives are interwoven with technology. Smartphones, tablets, and computers are indispensable, offering convenience and connection. However, they also pose a significant challenge. They fragment attention, erode deep focus, and diminish the capacity for profound work. Digital minimalism emerges as a response, a philosophy for intentional technology use. Understanding digital minimalism is not about renouncing technology. It's about using digital tools deliberately to support, rather than sabotage, your values. At its core, this approach asks a fundamental question: does my technology serve my goals, or do I serve my technology? The hidden costs of distraction, constant interruptions, widen the gap between intention and action. Notifications, social media, and email can create an always-on mental state, making it nearly impossible to enter deep work. Studies show that individuals distracted by digital interruptions take significantly longer to complete tasks and produce lower quality work. Steps toward minimalism. Audit your digital habits. Track the time spent on digital devices. Use apps like Rescue Time or Screen Time to analyze where your attention goes. Identify essentials. Decide which apps and platforms are genuinely necessary for work and life. Eliminate or restrict those that do not align with your priorities. Establish tech-free zones. Designate physical spaces, such as your desk or bedroom, as device-free. Reserve these for deep work, rest, and personal connection. Batch communications. Instead of responding to emails or messages as they arrive, Set specific times for digital correspondence. Setting boundaries. Communicate your intentions to friends, family, and colleagues. Let them know when you are offline. Establish clear boundaries for when you engage with technology and when you disconnect. The role of mindfulness is vital in overcoming compulsive tech use. Pause before unlocking your phone or opening a new tab. Ask, why am I using this? Cultivate awareness of impulse versus intention. Benefits of digital minimalism: reclaimed attention. More energy for meaningful tasks. Enhanced creativity. Mental space for innovative thinking. Reduce stress. Less overwhelm from constant information. Challenges and solutions: digital minimalism can trigger discomfort, fear of missing out, FOMO, anxiety, or boredom. Treat these feelings as part of the transition. With time, the brain adapts, and the benefits, clarity, calm, and productivity emerge. Chapter 12. The role of rest: why recovery fuels productivity. In the relentless pursuit of achievement, rest is often overlooked, even stigmatized as laziness. Yet the science is unequivocal. Rest is a pillar of productivity, not its enemy. Recovery revitalizes the mind and body, unlocking higher levels of focus, creativity, and resilience. The physiology of recovery: sleep is the foundation of rest. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories, repairs neural pathways, and prepares for new learning. Chronic sleep deprivation impairs judgment, concentration, and emotional stability. Beyond sleep, other forms of rest, such as breaks, meditation, and leisure activities, reduce stress and replenish cognitive resources. The parasympathetic nervous system, activated during relaxation, counterbalances the stress response and enhances problem-solving. Integration of rest into work. Scheduled breaks. Structure your day with regular intervals of rest. Even 10-minute breaks can refresh attention and boost performance. Active rest. Engage in activities that neither demand intense focus nor induce stress. Nature walks. Light reading or gentle exercise. Mindful relaxation. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, and progressive muscle relaxation can restore mental clarity and emotional balance. Rest and creativity. Many breakthroughs occur during periods of rest. Creative insight thrives when the mind is free to wander and make novel connections. Daydreaming and boredom, often dismissed as unproductive, are in fact fertile grounds for innovation. Signs of under-recovery symptoms include irritability, chronic fatigue, poor concentration, and physical malaise. Recognize these warning signs and prioritize rest before burnout ensues. Cultural shifts: a culture that celebrates busyness over balance is detrimental. Leaders and organizations must reframe rest as strategic, not indulgent. Encourage recovery-driven policies, napping zones, flexible schedules, and wellness programs. Rest as ritual: create rituals, bedtime routines, Sunday rest days, post-work decompression, to signal to your brain that it's time to recharge. Protect these rituals fiercely. They are investments in your long-term performance. Techniques for quality: rest: limiting late-night screen time, using blackout curtains and white noise, practicing gratitude, or journaling before bed. Chapter 13. Eliminating procrastination through purpose. Procrastination is a universal human experience, the tendency to postpone meaningful work in favor of fleeting pleasure or distraction. But at its core, procrastination is not a matter of laziness. It reflects a misalignment between what you value and how you spend your time. Purpose is the antidote. Understanding procrastination. The roots of procrastination lie in fear, perfectionism, and a lack of clarity. When tasks feel overwhelming or disconnected from our identity, avoidance becomes a coping mechanism. Unearthing purpose acts as an internal compass, directing energy and focus. To eliminate procrastination, you must clarify your motivations, identify values. What matters most to you? Success, growth, creativity, connection. Connect tasks to values. Ask how each activity supports these values. If the connection is weak, either rethink the task or frame it differently. Set meaningful goals. Break work into personally significant milestones. Purpose transforms to-do lists from obligations to opportunities. Techniques for action. Visualize success. Imagine the outcomes of completing your work. Pride. Freedom, new possibilities. Use commitment devices. Set deadlines. Share goals with others, or use software that restricts distractions until you finish tasks. Chunk tasks. Divide large projects into bite-sized actions to reduce overwhelm and increase momentum. Overcoming fear and perfectionism. Procrastination often masks fear of failure, judgment, or imperfection. Accept that progress is perfection. Embrace mistakes as feedback, not condemnation. The role of rewards. Reward yourself for milestones. Celebrate achievements, however small. This positive reinforcement strengthens the neural pathways that associate work with pleasure and satisfaction. Mindset. Shift, replace. I have to with I choose to. Autonomy is a powerful motivator. Remind yourself that each action moves you closer to your purpose. Case studies. Research shows that people who connect their work to a deeper sense of purpose are more resilient, productive, and fulfilled. From athletes to executives, a compelling why raises performance and satisfaction. Chapter 14. Creating systems that support focus. Focus is not merely a matter of willpower. While motivation is essential, it is easily depleted. Systems, structures, routines, and habits form the scaffolding that supports sustained attention and deep work. The architecture of effective systems remove friction, automate decision-making, and promote consistency. They act as external brains, guiding attention regardless of mood or motivation. Designing your environment. Declutter. Order your workspace so that only essentials are visible. A clean environment reduces distractions and primes you for focus. Visual cues. Use calendars, checklists, and reminders. Physical prompts reinforce desired behaviors without effort. Optimal lighting and temperature. Physical comfort enhances cognitive performance. Experiment to discover your best environment. Routine. Building routines convert intention into action, making focus habitual. Develop morning rituals to start each day with clarity. Meditation, journaling. Prioritize planning, automation, and time boxing. Automate repetitive tasks. Bill payments, data entry, freeing energy for deep work. Use time boxing. Schedule specific blocks for focused work, breaks, and administration. The power of accountability. Pair up with colleagues or friends for mutual check-ins. Shared goals foster commitment and persistence. Leveraging technology distraction blockers. Apps like Freedom or Cold Turkey limit access to time-wasting sites. Project management tools. Organize tasks and deadlines using platforms like Trello, Notion, or Todoist. Periodic review. Assess your systems regularly. Are they supporting your goals or impeding progress? Adapt ruthlessly. Ditch what doesn't serve you. Iterate what does. Habit stacking. Combine habits. Start deep work after your morning coffee or exercise session. Linking behaviors reduces resistance and increases routine adoption. Barriers to systemization. Resistance to change is common. Start small. Implement one system at a time. Celebrate progress and adjust continuously. Chapter 15. Cultivating patience in a fast-paced world. Patience is the anchor of deep work. In an era where speed is prized, fast results, instant information, cultivating patience is a quiet act of rebellion. It enables you to pursue long-term goals, nurture creativity, and savor the process of mastery. The nature of patience is not passive waiting. It is active endurance. It means maintaining effort and hope despite delayed gratification, setbacks, or slow progress. Why patience matters. Research shows that delayed rewards activate the prefrontal cortex, strengthening self-control, planning, and foresight. Impatience leads to shortcuts, errors, and missed opportunities. Practice is to develop patience. Mindful observation. Notice impatience as it arises. What triggers it? How does it feel? 2. Set realistic timelines. Accept that meaningful outcomes take time. Frame projects as marathons, not sprints. Celebrate small wins. Break long projects into milestones and recognize each achievement. Reframe delay. View waiting periods as opportunities for reflection. Skill building and creative incubation. Patience and creativity, great works, novels, inventions, relationships require persistent, patient attention. The sculptor does not rush. The scientist does not skip experiments. Creativity unfolds through sustained, patient effort. Overcoming cultural and internal pressure, modern culture pushes immediacy. Resist by consciously prioritizing depth over speed. Internally, silence the voice insisting, "I should be done by now." Replace it with, "I am progressing." Patience in relationships. Deep work is enriched by supportive relationships. Patience fosters empathy, constructive feedback, and trust, qualities that amplify collaborative achievement. Resilience against setbacks. Patience builds resilience. When results lag, patient individuals persist, adapt, and rebound quickly. They see setbacks as temporary, not final. Patience as a lifelong practice view. Patience as a skill you cultivate daily through meditation, challenging tasks, or learning new abilities. Practice delayed gratification and notice improvements in focus and satisfaction. Chapter 16. Harnessing boredom for creativity and clarity. Boredom is an experience universally misunderstood. In a world that prizes constant stimulation, moments of emptiness are seen as voids to be filled, typically with scrolling, clicking, or binging. Yet for those committed to deep work, boredom is not an adversary but an ally, a fertile ground where creativity and clarity blossom. Understanding boredom's role. Boredom arises when our attention mechanism, built over millennia for hunting, gathering, and creative thinking, finds itself without a clear object. Our modern environment, saturated with instant gratification, short-circuits this process. Instead of mining the depths of our thoughts, we skip along the surface, rarely settling into quiet contemplation. But neuroscience reveals boredom's power. When deprived of external stimulus, our brains shift into default mode, a state associated with daydreaming, self-reflection, and creativity. This is where problems are solved, breakthroughs occur, and clarity emerges. If you are to cultivate deep work, learning to harness boredom is essential. Boredom as catalyst for creativity. Consider the routine moments, waiting in line, commuting, or sitting through a lull in conversation. Rather than reaching for your phone, allow boredom to simmer. This simple practice, repeated daily, strengthens your brain's creative circuits. It is during these instances that the mind begins to connect distant ideas, generate new perspectives, and imagine solutions that were previously elusive. Productive boredom is not passive. It challenges you to resist distraction, choosing instead to dwell in thought. Writers, inventors, and entrepreneurs often attribute success to periods spent detached from stimulation, letting ideas percolate. The discomfort of boredom, properly channeled, yields the raw material for innovation. Clarity. Through emptiness, clarity is another gift of boredom. In moments of stimulus deprivation, our minds sift through clutter, organizing memories, aspirations, and tasks. It is in these intervals that we often gain insights into personal struggles, redefine priorities, or simply recognize buried emotions. To practice this, set aside time for intentional boredom. Meditate without guidance, take slow walks without music, or simply sit in silence. Notice the initial restlessness and patiently observe what emerges. Over time, clarity will replace the chaos, leading to more deliberate action and better decision-making. Cultivating a boredom practice Scheduled boredom. Block out daily periods, 5 to 15 minutes, where you permit yourself to be bored. Resist reaching for devices or even books. Mindful observation. During boredom, observe your thoughts. What patterns emerge? Are there creative ideas, unresolved issues, or unexpected questions? 3. Creative journaling. After each session, jot down whatever surfaced. Over weeks, you'll notice trends and often untapped creative reservoirs. Deliberate device fasts. Regularly abstain from screens for extended periods. The initial discomfort is often replaced by waves of insight. Embrace solitude. Seek spaces where external demands are minimal. Forest trails, quiet rooms, and even blank notebooks provide fertile ground, transforming boredom into action. The journey from boredom to creativity is not instantaneous, but cumulative. Each moment spent resisting distraction is an investment in your brain's capacity for deep work. Over time, the discomfort transforms into anticipation, a knowing that on the other side of emptiness lie ideas and clarity waiting to be discovered. Ultimately, those who learn to harness boredom are those who reclaim their minds from the tyranny of distraction. They become better thinkers, creators, and leaders, equipped to meet challenges with imagination rather than reaction. Make boredom your ally and watch as creativity and clarity flourish. Chapter 17. Deep Work for Learning. Mastering New Skills. Quickly. Mastering new skills is the cornerstone of growth in any domain, whether professional or personal. Yet in an age of constant distraction, our capacity to learn deeply, to truly absorb, integrate, and apply knowledge is threatened. Deep Work offers a solution, a systematic approach to rapid skill acquisition, rooted in focused, uninterrupted effort. The limits of shallow learning. Most learning today is shallow, flitting between YouTube tutorials, scanning blog posts, or half listening to podcasts while multitasking. While such grazing may offer familiarity, it rarely leads to mastery. Genuine learning requires engagement, developing deep neural pathways through sustained focus and repeated practice. The author Cal Newport, in his seminal work on deep work, argues that learning is optimized when we enter states of intense concentration, sidelining distractions, and immersing ourselves wholly in the task. Principles of deep work learning. Focused engagement. Block time solely for learning. Remove distractions, phones, browsers, social media, and set clear intentions. Deliberate practice. Practice actively, not passively. For skill-based learning, break tasks into components, tackle weaknesses, and seek feedback. Active recall and spaced repetition. Use techniques proven to accelerate mastery. Testing yourself rather than rereading or highlighting is far more effective. Spacing review sessions over days or weeks cements retention. Interleaved learning, mix related topics or skills, challenging your brain to adapt and generalize. This fosters deeper understanding rather than rote memorization. Deep work in action. Examples. Consider language learning. Instead of casual browsing of vocabulary apps, deep learners dedicate blocks of time to immersive reading, conversation, and writing. They track progress, reflect on mistakes, and solicit feedback, transforming passive exposure into active mastery. For coders, deep work means solving real problems, debugging lines of code, or building projects in distraction-free environments. For musicians, it entails focused practice, breaking down difficult passages, recording and reviewing performances, and iterating until fluency is achieved. Setting up your deep work. Learning environment. Physical and digital environments matter. Choose a space where interruptions are minimized. Use tools like website blockers, dedicated headphones, or even handwritten notes to disconnect as much as possible. Structure your sessions. Open with a clear goal, work intensely for 25-90 minutes, and then rest before repeating. Tracking. Skill. Acquisition learning accelerates when measured. Maintain a learning journal, logging daily efforts, milestones, and insights. Celebrate progress. completion of chapters, successful performances, or coded projects, but analyze setbacks to adjust your approach. Overcoming plateaus. Deep work isn't easy. Plateaus, periods where progress stalls, are inevitable. Push through by adjusting techniques, increase session length, change your practice methods, or seek new resources. Often breakthroughs occur just after periods of greatest frustration. The commitment to lifelong learning. When deep work becomes a cornerstone of your learning approach, the results compound. Skills are acquired not just more quickly, but more completely. You become adaptable, able to pivot into new domains and integrate knowledge creatively. The ability to learn deeply is, in essence, the most valuable skill in a world of rapid change. Remember, mastery is not about talent, but practice. With the principles of deep work, anyone can accelerate their learning, transforming information into ability. Dedicate yourself to deep work learning and watch your skill set expand far beyond what shallow engagement could ever yield. Chapter 18, Deep Work for Achievement. Producing results that matter. Achievement is the currency of progress. In professional environments, artists' studios, and personal pursuits, producing meaningful results distinguishes high performers from the crowd. Yet achievement cannot thrive in the margins of distracted, fragmented effort. It demands deliberate commitment, a stance that deep work uniquely cultivates. The nature of meaningful achievement. All accomplishment begins with intention. Whether it's shipping a product, writing a novel, mastering a portfolio, or changing lives in service, achievement arises from focused endeavor. Shallow tasks abound, replying to emails, attending status meetings, tweaking presentations. Decisive progress, however, is made by dedicating time to tasks of real consequence. Deep work as an engine for output. Deep work is the crucible in which significant results are forged. By blocking distractions and working with sustained, unwavering attention, you make measurable strides in a fraction of the time. The common thread across achievers, from Nobel laureates to successful entrepreneurs, is their disciplined approach to focus, strategies for result-oriented deep work. Set high-impact goals. Identify the projects or outcomes that would make the greatest difference, either professionally or personally. Clarify how achievement will be measured. Prioritize ruthlessly. Use the Eisenhower matrix, distinguishing important tasks from urgent ones to ensure deep work sessions are spent on what matters most. Time blocking. Dedicate chunks of time, 60, 120 minutes, to single projects. During these blocks, shut out everything but the task, eliminating multitasking. Visualize the outcome. Before a deep work session, visualize the result you plan to achieve. This primes your mind for focused effort. Navigating challenges. Achievement through deep work is rarely linear. Distractions, setbacks, and resistance are inevitable. The most productive individuals develop resilience. When interrupted, they return swiftly to task. When facing failure, they analyze constructively, learning rather than retreating. Building achievement muscle involves tracking progress, iterating on approaches, and seeking external feedback. Share your results with mentors or trusted peers. Constructive criticism accelerates growth. Real-world application. Consider a writer drafting a book. Instead of composing piecemeal, the writer blocks several hours daily, eliminating email, phone calls, and social media. Progress is tracked in words written and chapters completed. Over weeks, a manuscript emerges, proof of achievement through deep work. Similarly, in a business context, completing a major design or launching an initiative requires extended, undistracted focus. Multitasking or shallow workflow will slow momentum, dilute quality, and undermine morale. Celebrating milestones. Achievement isn't just about reaching the summit, but recognizing signposts along the way. Regularly review accomplishments, large and small. Celebrate completion of drafts, projects, or pivotal meetings. This builds motivation and reinforces the habit of deep work. Sustaining achievement. To sustain high levels of achievement, deep work must become a practice, not an exception. Create rituals, morning sessions, weekly reflections, quarterly reviews. Over months and years, your accumulation of meaningful results will compound, elevating your career, creative output, and satisfaction. In summary, deep work is the engine that produces results that matter. By deliberately committing to focus, prioritizing high-impact tasks, and developing resilience, you transform effort into accomplishment. Achievement isn't accidental, it's the fruit of sustained, intentional deep work. Chapter 19. Measuring progress, tracking what truly counts. Progress drives motivation, shapes decisions, and builds momentum. Yet in the realm of deep work, measuring progress is more than counting hours or ticking boxes. It is about tracking what truly matters, aligning effort with outcome, and cultivating a sense of purposeful advancement. Why measurement is crucial. Without measurement, effort becomes diffuse. We may work hard, yet feel stagnant, unsure if our actions yield real results. Precise tracking not only validates effort, proving to ourselves that progress is being made, but identifies areas for improvement, helping us hone the deep work process. Defining meaningful metrics. Progress is best measured by outcomes, not just activity. For a writer, it's pages completed or drafts revised. For a developer, features shipped or code reviewed. Busy work may feel productive, but it often masks a lack of movement toward deeply meaningful goals. Key questions. What is the highest value output in my area? Can I measure skill improvement, quality, or impact? What milestones mark progress toward completion? Tools and techniques for tracking progress? Daily logs, record start and end times, tasks completed, breakthroughs, and obstacles. Over time, patterns emerge, highlighting the relationship between time invested and results. Milestone charts break down large projects into discrete milestones, finished chapters, prototype features, completed modules. Review and celebrate the crossing of each, quantitative and qualitative metrics. Some achievements are countable, words written, lines of code, paintings. Others are qualitative, a sense of mastery, clarity, or creative flow. Track both, journaling subjective impressions alongside hard data. Visual trackers, physical Kanban boards, digital tools, Trello, Notion, etc., or even simple checklists make progress visible. This tangibility boosts accountability and motivation. Review rituals. Weekly or monthly reviews consolidate data, offering clear snapshots of progress. Reflect on what worked, what stalled, and what can be adjusted, dealing with slow or stalled progress. Not all projects move at the same pace. Periods of slow progress or setbacks are inevitable. The key is to analyze, not judge. Were distractions present? Was focus compromised? Is the metric too vague or overly ambitious? Does the project require new skills or support? Adjusting methodology, refining goals, changing measurement, or even taking a break often reinvigorates momentum. Aligning measurement with deep work values. It is possible to become obsessed with metrics, losing sight of the underlying purpose. The goal is not to track for tracking's sake, but to ensure that the effort aligns with the intention. Revisit your reasons for engaging in deep work. Ensure your metrics reflect genuine values and not arbitrary benchmarks. The feedback loop. Measurement creates a feedback loop. Effort leads to progress, which is reviewed and refined, driving better effort and deeper results. This cycle underpins mastery, tying together discipline, awareness, and adaptability. Accountability. Partners. For some, sharing progress amplifies commitment. Find a mentor, peer, or community to whom you report results. Group challenges, review sessions, or public declarations increase adherence and provide an external perspective. Long-term progress. True deep work moves beyond short-term gains. Track how your productivity, skills, and outcomes evolve monthly and yearly. Over time, you'll notice exponential growth, the compounded fruit of intentional measurement. In essence, measuring progress is about asking, am I moving toward what matters? With the right tools, clarity, and rituals, you transform effort into achievement, making each deep work session a stepping stone toward your goals. Chapter 20. Living the Deep Work Lifestyle. Focus as a way of life. Deep work is not merely a productivity technique. It is a lifestyle, a fundamental shift in how you approach not just work, but life itself. When focus becomes a way of living, every moment is imbued with intentionality, presence, and meaning. The philosophy of deep work at its core, deep work is about reclaiming agency. Instead of reacting to every ping, alert, and distraction, you create boundaries for your attention. Life becomes less about responding to the urgent and more about investing in the important. By living the deep work lifestyle, you assert the right to think, create, and achieve without compromise. Designing your environment for deep workspaces shape behavior. Construct environments, physical and digital, where deep work flourishes. This could be a neatly organized office, a quiet cafe, or a dedicated nook at home. Remove clutter and distractions. Surround yourself with cues that prime focus. Digitally curate your tools. Use only essential apps, set up device blockers, or keep your phone in another room during key sessions. Let your environment always invite focus, not fragmentation. Developing daily rituals habits are the scaffolding of lifestyle. Begin each day with a ritual that signals the start of deep work. A cup of tea, a brief meditation, or reviewing your intention. Structure your time. Carve out blocks for creation, learning, reflection, and rest. Over weeks, these rituals become automatic, fueling discipline and energy. Building relationships around focus, share your commitment to deep work with family, friends, and peers. Explain boundaries, times when you won't respond to calls or messages. Invite loved ones to join you, modeling distraction-free evenings or creative weekends. Connection deepens when presence is undivided. Managing energy, not just time focus, depends on energy. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, and movement. Schedule deep work during natural peak periods when you feel mentally sharpest. Use breaks for renewal, walks, stretches, or deliberate relaxation. The best deep workers understand that managing energy is more important than managing time. Balancing work and life. The deep work lifestyle does not mean working endlessly or becoming a hermit. It's about balance, giving full attention to work, then fully disconnecting for play, relationships, and self-care. Segment your day. Periods of intense focus, followed by guilt-free leisure, resilience and adaptability. No lifestyle is static. Occasionally, life's demands require flexibility. The deep work mindset is resilient. When interrupted, you return to focus. When schedules change, you adapt. The commitment is to the practice, not perfection. Legacy of living deeply. Those who live the deep work lifestyle leave legacies of creativity, achievement, and wisdom. They are remembered not for the quantity of tasks completed, but for the quality of their contributions. Relationships are deeper, fulfillment greater, and impact lasting. In sum, deep work as a lifestyle is about making focus an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that your attention, and by extension your life, is too valuable to squander. Embrace focus as a way of life and watch every area of your existence grow richer and more purposeful. If you found this video helpful, inspiring, or entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on future content. Your support means the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.